Soul Calibur VI, where everyone's got a grudge, a gigantic weapon, and a hairstyle that defies physics. Let's get into every character so you're prepared for the next fighter who tries to ruin your win streak. Eishiro Mitsurugi, the wandering samurai with a vendetta against the musket. Mitsurugi is a relentless powerhouse in Soul Calibur VI. Wielding the hefty Shishi-O, he blends precision slashes with raw aggression. Staying true to his brawler's soul, his Tenpu Kosai Ryukai style favors fast, brutal strikes and adaptive counters, a lifetime of battlefield experience forged into instinct. He doesn't fight for honor or students, he simply fights to win. Seong Mina. With her massive Zanbato, Scarlet Thunder, Seong Mina dominates the mid-range game. Her Seong-style mix of speed, reach, and crushing lows makes her a relentless threat. Upgraded in Soul Calibur VI with potent combos and a strong soul charge, she's no longer just zoning, she's dismantling. Cheerful as ever, but don't be fooled, this is Mina at her deadliest. Taki. Taki is Soul Calibur's ninja forged in flame, quick, lethal, and one step ahead. With Rekimaru in one hand and the cursed Mekimaru sealed at her hip, she dances between tradition and danger. Her Muso Bato Ryu style is pure blitz, mixing unsheathing slashes, aerial assaults, and precision kicks for a relentless offense that leaves opponents no room to breathe. Maxi. With his handcrafted Fatibal Nunchaku and the deadly Shishen Karihari style, Maxi is a one-man hurricane of motion and momentum. Each stance flows into the next, chaining hits with dizzying speed and theatrical style. 7 stances, infinite rhythm. Maxi's a pressure cooker, and the longer his opponent is in the ring with him, the more they'll feel the heat. Beneath the charm and sea-slick swagger lies a serious martial artist, and if you blink, you'll miss the strike that ends the match. Voldo. Voldo is a nightmare stitched in leather, guarding the money pit with twin Jamadhars. His self-taught style defies logic. Bending and crawling like a contortionist, his mantis crawl twists the fight into a fever dream of spinning slashes and reverse attacks. Blind, but hyper-aware, Voldo's raw unpredictability turns every encounter into a walking hallucination. Sophitia. Don't be fooled by her divine glow. Sophitia Alexandra is a lethal close-range fighter. Wielding the Omega Sword and Elk Shield blessed by Hephaestus, her Athenian style blends precision, mobility, and timing. The Angel Step closes gaps instantly, allowing attacks while defending to unsettle foes. Driven by faith and love, Sophitia fights not for glory, but for something stronger, making her a deadly force in battle. Siegfried. Once wielding the cursed Soul Edge, Siegfried Stauffen now seeks redemption with the massive Requiem. His style combines towering power, clever stance shifts, and deceptive flow, despite the sword's immense size. Tapping into lingering corruption with Dark Legacy, Siegfried turns suffering into strength and guilt into raw force, becoming most dangerous near death. Ivy. Isabella Valentine, or Ivy, wields the Ivy Blade, a snake sword forged by forbidden magic that shifts between the sword and whip. Master of zoning, she controls the stage with ruthless ranged pressure and punishes recklessness with command grabs. Yet beneath her cold precision lies a cruel secret. Her cursed bloodline binds her weapon to the evil she vowed to destroy, tightening her fate with every strike. Kilik. Wielding the sacred staff Kali Yuga, Kilik masters the Lingsheng Su style, fluid, versatile, and precise. His graceful reach controls the battlefield, masking a fierce inner struggle against the cursed evil seed energy threatening to consume him. In Soul Charge, that dark power fuels his attacks, but drains his life. Kilik fights not only to win, but to contain a weapon that could become the next Soul Edge. Chai Xianghua. Xianghua's style blends dance-like grace with tactical precision. Wielding Krita Yuga, she weaves, feints, and swift slashes, transforming her mother's Lingsheng Su techniques into unpredictable strikes. Using the silent Xia Sheng stance, she lures opponents with elegance before hitting with deadly accuracy. Connected to the sacred Krita Yuga, Xianghua doesn't follow fate, she leads it with every calculated move. Yoshimitsu. Last of his clan, the original mechanical ninja is Chaos Incarnate. With a Manji sword and Fuma blade, he wields Manji Ninjutsu, a wild, unpredictable style full of teleports, reversals, and airborne tricks. Yoshimitsu fights like a phantom, spinning between spectacle and savagery. Nightmare. The Azure Knight is destruction incarnate, a monstrous fusion of man and soul edge. With his massive Zweihander, he carves through armor, flesh, and hope alike, driven by the blade's insatiable hunger. Each strike echoes with the screams of consumed souls. Though he believes he's in control, Nightmare is just a mask. As Siegfried's sanity fades, the cursed sword tightens its grip, and the world drowns in red. Astaroth. Built by a death cult, powered by a war god, and fueled by pure murder lust, Astaroth is Frankenstein meets Demolition Derby. Wielding kulutus, literally bye-bye bones, this mountain of muscle turns foes into red smears with every freight train swing. If he grabs you, pray you respawn with your dignity. Glory? Honor? Nah. His whole personality is smash first, ask questions never. Subtlety and mercy are not in his vocabulary. Inferno. Inferno isn't really a fighter. It's Soul Edge Unchained, a burning graveyard of every style it's ever consumed. 1 second it's fencing, the next it's swinging like a berserker, all the time on fire. It doesn't flinch, it doesn't care, and it's absolutely cheating. Inferno fights like a cursed fighting game randomizer fueled by rage and soul debt. Their opponent's not just facing a boss, they're facing every boss crammed into one hell-baked monstrosity. Cervantes de Leon. Pirate, corpse, walking war crime, Cervantes swings Acheron and Nirvana, his sword and pistol dagger combo, like a man who thinks subtlety is for landlubbers. With explosive lunges, mid-combo gunshots, and gravity-defying wall tech, he fights like a ghost ship crashing through your living room. Soul Edge still whispers in his skull, fueling a murderous autopilot. Dead or not, Cervantes is still the scariest thing to ever crawl out of the sea. Raphael Sorel. Once a nobleman, now a mad swordsman with a vendetta and a flair for dramatic fencing, Raphael's rapier, Flambert, is a twisting blade perfect for his swift surgical strikes. His style, La Rapière de Sorel, blends aristocratic elegance with cold-blooded efficiency. Obsessed with soul edge and increasingly unhinged, he fights like a man dueling phantoms. Fast, precise, and just a little too into it. Talim. The last priestess of the winds turns combat into a sacred dance. With her twin elbow blades, Talim flows through swift combos and aerial spins, striking like a sudden gale. Her island upbringing and deep connection to the wind give her uncanny reflexes. She seems to move before you do, light, fast, and unpredictable. She's as dangerous as she is graceful. When Talim dances, the storm follows. Zasalamel. The dark side of karma wields a massive scythe named Kavziel, a weapon soaked in blood through countless rebirths. A master manipulator and self-taught fighter, he uses long-range sweeps, deadly curses, and time-stopping magic to trap foes. Methodical and relentless, Zasalamel stalks his enemies like the Grim Reaper incarnate. Cornered victims face death's cold edge, or a terrifying abyssal form hidden within. Good luck escaping his plot. Gro. The Agent in Black wields a razor-sharp replica of the legendary Arundite sword. Forged for stealthy assassins of the Aval Secret Society, master of twin-blade swordsmanship, Gro's style blends consecutive slashes with split-sword surprise attacks. He's so dedicated he named all his moves, much to the dismay of the old-school Aval members. Once a top agent, now he fights to reclaim his honor and prove he's still as sharp as his blades. Aswell. Meet Aswell, part mad scientist, part martial arts philosopher, and full-time chaos creator. Using his palindrome device, he conjures swords, axes, and shields out of thin air, because why carry weapons when you can just manifest them? His fighting style is less hit and run and more confuse and conquer, keeping opponents guessing which deadly weapon will drop next. Oh, and he's got an almighty mode that turns him into a speed demon. Geralt of Rivia. The White Wolf crashed into Soul Calibur armed with 2 swords, one for humans and one for monsters, forged not from magic meteorites but good old iron ore and silver. Geralt's gear is as practical as his no-nonsense attitude. Trained at the School of the Wolf with mutations and magic signs, he's ready to slice, dice, and hex his way through any dimension. The Witcher's motto, always be prepared. Tira. Meet the Bird of Death. Tira's got a ring blade sharp enough to carve fear into your soul, and a pask darker than a moonless night. Once part of a deadly assassin's guild, her dual personality switched from gleeful slaughter to cold calculation mid-fight, keeping foes on their toes. Just don't poke the beast lurking inside. Waking it up is a very, very bad idea. Amy Sorel. The Winter Rose is not just a pretty face, she's Raphael's protege and secret weapon, wielding Albion, a rapier light enough for finesse but deadly in skilled hands. Amy turns dueling into an art form. She doesn't go for knockout blows. She's more about poking and prodding her opponents like the thorns of a rose. Precision, patience, and a sharp eye make her a subtle but lethal threat. Cassandra Alexandra. The Warring Maiden isn't just Sophitia's sister, she's a powerhouse, wielding the divine Owl Shield and Omega Sword, blessed by the gods themselves. Her aggressive, less polished style swings hard and fast, using her shield both as a battering ram and a flying surprise. With lightning and wind crashing down around her, Cassandra fights like a tempest, raw, relentless, and surprisingly unstoppable for someone still figuring out her own faith. Yora No. 2 Type B. The sleek, deadly android 2B brings lightning-fast precision and style to the battlefield, wielding her trusted virtuous contract and treaty swords like an unstoppable storm. Built for obliterating machines, she flips, slashes, and dodges with acrobatic grace, switching weapons mid-fight like it's second nature. And if things get really grim, she's got a self-destruct button, because sometimes going out with a bang is just better tactics. Hildegard van Kroon. Hilda carries the royal legacy with her legendary sword and spear, Glanzenda Nova and Frischer Himmel, lost weapons reborn to defend the kingdom. Her fighting style is all about patience and power, waiting for the perfect opening, then unleashing devastating strikes that feel like a wolf's claw and bite combined. When the kingdom's in danger, Hilda's on the front lines, fierce and fearless. Setsuka. Setsuka wields Ogetsu Kageuchi, a blade wrapped in the memories of her late master and decorated with bright colors to hide its deadly purpose. Her lightning-fast Shinden Tsushimaru Batojutsu style is optimized for assassination, swift, precise, and almost supernatural in perception, passed down through warrior families and rumored to be divine. Setsuka's swordplay blends deadly grace with a dark history of secrecy and bloodlust control. Huang Xionggyong. Huang wields Dark Thunder, a cosmic blade charged with the power of celestial artifacts. Trained in the Huang-style longsword and gifted with the secret 6 heavenly arts, he blends graceful flying slashes with potent talisman magic and divine invocation. Though not born a mystic, his sheer will makes him a rare Taoist swordsman, fusing martial skill and supernatural power into a unique and deadly style. Haomaru. Haomaru wields Fugudoku, a heavy sword forged with spiritual inscriptions, said even demons struggle to lift. Born a vassal's son, he left home young to forge his own path, training under nicotine caffeine before developing a fierce, self-taught style. His powerful whirlwind strikes cut through steel and legends alike. Fueled by a fiery temper, Haomaru's rage transforms him into a near-mythic force of nature. So, who's your go-to Soul Calibur VI character when you want to whack someone with style? Let us know in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and smash the notification bell for more gaming explainers that slice through the nonsense. We'll see you in the next video.